Coming up next on News 10, Indiana University says enough is enough to Bobby Knight. And a two-car accident in Saratoga traps an elderly man in a burning car.
Clouds and some wet weather on the way.
News 10 is next.
It's 11 o'clock. News 10 starts now.
A handshake is worth 1,000 words in politics. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Ammerman. The race for the New York Senate seat is in focus tonight, in particular, a picture. It's a picture that may have political implications for both sides. Thank you very much. Republican Senate candidate Rick Lazio shook many hands at Troy's Uncle Sam parade, but it was this handshake that's getting noticed. The grip, caught on film, is between the Republican congressman and Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. The two met on an official White House visit to the Middle East nearly 2 years ago, and it was the White House that released the picture.
It sure sounds like taxpayer money was used once again to further the Clinton campaign.
It's a campaign hot potato as both Lazio and Mrs. Clinton court Jewish voters in a very tight race. Lazio has been critical of Mrs. Clinton's now infamous hug of Yasser Arafat's wife last year, moments after Mrs. Arafat harshly criticized Israel. Mrs. Clinton wasted no time in criticizing Lazio over his greeting.
It's the latest example of Rick Lazio saying one thing and doing another. That describes his congressional voting record. It describes his campaign. I've seen so many examples of it in the last months.
Lazio's camp says the handshake was just a diplomatic gesture, but it certainly is not a welcomed one as the campaign heads into high gear, and the all-important undecided voters decide on who gets their votes.
October is going to be a very important month. I think the debates are going to mean a lot. A lot of people are going to watch them.
The latest Zogby poll conducted for the Times-Union has Lazio with less than a 1-point lead over Mrs. Clinton, but it says more undecided voters seem to favor Clinton's positions on key issues. Well, Bobby Knight's antics have finally caught up with him. Indiana University has fired him as its basketball coach, and tonight, thousands of students are marching in protest in downtown Bloomington. The last straw for Knight coming after he grabbed a student's arm last week to lecture him about manners. Back in May, Indiana handed Knight a zero-tolerance policy, and today its president, Miles Brand, says Knight has consistently violated that policy, including making disparaging comments about Indiana officials and cursing at a female employee. Brand says Knight's firing was the toughest decision he's ever made, but it's in the best interest of the school.
But this persistent and troubling pattern of behavior has led me to only one conclusion. In an early morning telephone conversation with Coach Knight today, I gave him the option of resigning as head basketball coach. He declined, and I notified him that he was being removed as basketball coach, effective immediately.
Brand says the university will look for an interim coach for the upcoming basketball season and then commence on finding a permanent coach. A two-car accident in Schuylerville claimed the life of an elderly man today. The accident happened shortly before noon at the intersection of King and Wall Street roads. State police say 82-year-old Clarence Richard of Lake Luzerne drove his Buick through the intersection, failing to stop at the stop sign. He then crashed into a Chevy Blazer driven by 51-year-old Donald Miller of Greenwich. Richard's Buick caught fire. His passenger, James Chandler, also of Lake Luzerne, managed to escape, but Richards was trapped in the blaze and killed. Miller's Blazer rolled over. His passenger, Shelley Miller, was taken to Albany Med with minor injuries. Well, police say a drunk driver went on a destructive rampage in Guilderland. According to police, 38-year-old William Grock of First Avenue in Troy pulled into a parking spot at the Metro 20 diner on Western Avenue and just kept going. He crossed into the next lot and crashed into the side of Caruso's Custom Clothier. Grock then allegedly backed up, struck a light pole, and then hit a parked Corvette. The owner of the Metro 20 diner watched it all unfold.
I think I was glad that didn't happen. There were no people here. Sometimes customers from the restaurant come outside and they hang out here around their car with children, and thank God nobody was here standing outside. So we're very fortunate with that.
The owner of Caruso's patched up the wall but lost several suits and dresses when a ruptured water line sprayed the clothing. Grock faces several charges tonight, including DWI and reckless driving. 4 people survived a serious collision today on the waters of Kopek Lake in Columbia County. Jerzy Podgorski of Queens was boating on the lake with his daughter and a friend. Another friend was on a jet ski near the boat and then ran into it. The jet ski coming to a rest in the middle of the boat. Luckily, the occupants of the boat managed to jump into the water before the jet ski landed on them. However, one boater and the jet skier were taken to Columbia Memorial Hospital with back injuries. Police believe operator inexperience caused the accident. A fight at the Aviation Mall in Queensbury led to a stabbing overnight. The fight apparently broke out over cigarettes after 21-year-old Theodore Turner got out of his job at Hoyt Cinema. 25-year-old Joseph Wilder of Cohoes went to a movie at the theater and got into the fight with Turner in the parking lot. Police say Turner pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed Wilder several times. Turner is being held in the Warren County Jail charged with assault. Wilder is in fair condition at Glens Falls Hospital. A new $750,000 project could turn the Port of Albany into a critical distribution site for East Coast shipping. This afternoon, the head of the Longshoremen's Union joined with government officials to announce the improvement of rail lines. This move will make cargo easier to load on and off ships and then put them out on the road. It will also link them to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey.
Well, it's going to provide more business after that's done. We can get more rail cars in and out of here, and that makes a more heavy lift project off the ships.
This will dramatically enhance that operation, there's no doubt, and it will create jobs for many of our stevedores and people that aren't working right now.
The Port of Albany Commission expects the track work to begin this fall. Well, if you're like me, you like today's weather out there today. How's it going to be for the start of our work week? Let's go over to Melissa Sander to find out. Melissa.
Well, we have a pretty nice night ahead. Some areas of patchy fog, and starting tomorrow morning, there will be some sunshine around 62 degrees, warming up another 10 degrees by early afternoon, with more clouds developing so that by the time you're driving home, it's going to be in the low 70s. A lot of cloud cover. We're looking at some showers tomorrow night. More coming up on my full forecast, Steve.
Thanks, Melissa. And coming up on News 10, a camp for the disabled is wiped out by a flood. Well, also, just in case you missed some of it, we'll have a complete wrap-up of the Emmy Awards next.
Live, Steve Ammerman. Doppler Weather with Melissa Sander. Sports with John Spadafora. News 10 at 11 will continue.
We report to you.
In international news, the search for victims continues after a flood in southern Italy ravaged a campground for the disabled. 10 people are confirmed dead, with several others still missing. The muddy waters destroy the campground's guest register, complicating the task of accounting for the campers. One of the victims was swept away just after he helped move his wheelchair-bound father to higher ground. Heavy rain has pounded much of southern Italy for the past 3 days, cutting off dozens of villages. Justice Department sources say Los Alamos scientist and accused spy for China Wen-Ho Lee is about to get out of jail under a plea agreement. The sources say Lee will plead guilty tomorrow to one count of mishandling nuclear weapon secrets. 2 senior officials say Lee will be sentenced to time already served and then immediately freed. Lee's been in jail for about 9 months. The officials say Lee has agreed to provide information on 7 missing computer tapes with data on nuclear weapons designs and testing. The Clinton administration is giving Saudi Arabia credit for the OPEC production increase. The oil-producing heavyweights agreed to an 800,000 barrel a day increase. That's about 5% of what is used in the U.S. alone each day. Officials say it's too early to speculate how the increase will affect oil prices. Some analysts saying the size of the increase won't offer much comfort at all, especially for those who heat their homes with heating oil. OPEC has tried to blunt criticism by pointing out that many countries charge heavy taxes on gasoline and that refineries have been slow to process heating oil and other products. Representatives of the Bush and Gore campaigns will meet with a commission on presidential elections this week to try to compromise on a series of debates. The commission has recommended a series of 3 90-minute debates in October. The group's executive director, Janet Brown, tells CBS the dates and locations of the debates are pretty much set, but she tells Face the Nation that the commission is, quote, very open to talking about the format. The 52nd Annual Emmy Awards have finally wrapped up in Los Angeles. And in case you missed some of it, ABC's Carla Wohl has a look at the winners and their fashion statements.
The night started on a high note for the most nominated comedy, Will and Grace, with Best Supporting Actress going to Megan Mullally and Best Supporting Actor to Sean Hayes.
This is so surreal right now.
Surreal, too, for the cast of The West Wing. Richard Schiff taking home the award for Best Supporting Actor in a Drama. Allison Janney for Best Supporting Actress. In accepting their Emmys, both thanked the show's creator and writer.
Aaron, I am so proud and honored to be a part of your West Wing and to get to say your words every day.
Well,
West Wing continued its role with Emmys for writing and directing, giving host Gary Shandling that West Wing kind of feeling.
I read for the part of vice president, they said too Jewish.
The laughs continued for Patricia Heaton, who was honored as Best Actress in a Comedy, and Best Actor Michael J. Fox, who left Spin City to concentrate on his fight with Parkinson's disease.
Thanks. It's been a great ride, and you know, stay tuned.
ABC got another win with Celia Ward, Best Actress in a Drama, and Soprano got its due, James Gandolfini winning the award for Best Actor. Carla Wohl, ABC News, Hollywood.
The West Wing and Will and Grace won for Best Shows. Well, a phone problem has struck western Schoharie County and parts of Montgomery County tonight, and that's making it hard for residents to report emergencies. The main phone outages are in Carlisle. The fire department there is trying to use cell phones. It says if you can't get through, to come down to the Carlisle Fire Station to report your emergency. Well, stay tuned. Coming up, Melissa Sander will have a look at our weather forecast. And in Massachusetts, it was raining Elvises.
News 10 is sponsored by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture. Coming up, Melissa Sander with your exclusive Doppler weather forecast.
Melissa Sanders in with the weather. We had a great day today, and did you get an award for such beautiful weather?
No.
Is that your version of an Emmy?
Yes. It's my award for stuff. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That doesn't make sense, but...
Whatever. I just really wanted to do this.
It looks pretty. That's all that matters. And pretty weather in store?
No.
No?
Today was terrific. Tomorrow, not as terrific. Oh, let's just get to it. Right now, 70 degrees, dew point 64. So you're going to see some patchy fog out there, but otherwise a pretty decent night with nice winds out of the south, 12 miles per hour, also ushering in some more humidity. Barometric pressure is holding steady. Another dry day today. For the most part, we'll be dry until we get to the nighttime hours anyway. Today's high, 78 degrees. The overnight low, 60. Will be about that this coming overnight. And check out what's coming from the west. A lot of cloud cover and some stormy action. In fact, a big band that's already moving right through Lake Ontario and down through the western portion of our state. However, we have a more stable air mass, so it doesn't look like this line of storms and showers is going to be able to break into our region. Not tonight. We are, however, going to experience patchy fog, otherwise not a bad one overnight. It looks like we're going to stay dry again until tomorrow evening, when a big plume of moisture is finally going to create some showers in our region. Until then, it's going to be pretty humid. Right now, 70 degrees in Albany, 61 in Glens Falls, 69 in Burlington, 72 down in New York City. So a decent night ahead for most everyone in the Northeast. And looking at the national radar, some severe weather concerns, severe thunderstorms here in the upper Midwest, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin. This is all in conjunction with a frontal boundary, and quite a big one, winding through the country, bringing some showers to the upper Midwest, the northern plains rather. And then as you look, most of the west otherwise is clear. Let's talk for a second about Lane, Hurricane Lane. Can you see down here? It's continuing to move up to the west-northwest and weakening as it does so. That's the projection. So right now it's throwing out some storm surge, some heavy downpours and winds on Baja California, but it looks like as it continues its trek to the northwest, it shouldn't cause too much problem for the California coast. If you happen to be headed out there, probably a rough surf and maybe some light showers, but otherwise not much of a concern for California, not right now. Let's talk about what is going to happen with this, bringing us clouds and showers over the next couple days. Starting out tomorrow morning, we'll have partly sunny skies, and then we'll see the clouds roll in and this big plume of moisture. So I think we're going to see the scattered showers hitting evening into nighttime hours. That's going to continue on through Tuesday morning. Tuesday, a mostly cloudy day, and then this cold front sweeps on through Wednesday morning, bringing us some terrific weather, although cooler. All right, then overnight, partly cloudy skies, patchy fog, 56 to 61 degrees for your overnight low, and southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, starting out with some sunshine in the afternoon, cloudy, chance of showers, 73 to 78 for a high. Over in southern Vermont and the Berkshires, your overnight conditions are partly cloudy, patchy fog, mid-50s for an overnight low. And on Monday, partly sunny morning, followed by mostly cloudy afternoon, upper 70s for your high. Here's the rest of the 5-day forecast then. There's those cooling temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday. That high pressure is going to be also quite a cool dome, so it will be very pretty dry, but cooler. However, actually, it's closer to seasonable for this time of year. The normal highs are around 75 at this time of year. Overnight lows around 52. Friday, it looks like a squeeze play. We're going to be trapped between a couple fronts. I think we're going to have a lot of cloud cover and some showers in the upper 60s for a high. And there you go. So a decent start to our work week. Scattered showers. It's not going to be nonstop rain.
Still deserve this.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Melissa. Coming up in sports, wait until you see how the Indiana students are reacting to Bobby Knight's firing. Also, we'll hear from the Giants on their drubbing of the Eagles. John Spadafora is next.
Good evening, I'm Scott Dell. Welcome to Sunday, September 10th, Take 5 drawing being observed by an auditor from KPMG. There were no first prize winning tickets sold in last night's lotto drawing. There were 2 second prize winners who will receive over $26,000 each. Wednesday's lotto jackpot is now $15 million. Tonight's winning Take 5 numbers are 11, 23, 3, 25, and 9, making Sunday, September 10th's winning Take 5 results 11, 23, 3, 25, and 9. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night.
Next, News 10 Sports with John Spadafora.
By the way, I want to mention that was the first Take 5 drawing on Sundays, and we will, of course, have that for you every Sunday on News 10 at 11. And of course, the Giants, though, going not for their first win, but for their second.
Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah,
That's
they're
a little
bound,
early
maybe.
for that, but who knows? After only 2 weeks of the NFL season, the New York Giants sit all alone atop the NFC East. New York dominated the Philadelphia Eagles 33-18. Dan Murphy was at Veterans Stadium to see it all.
If this was an early season test, the Giants passed with flying colors. New York controlled the ball and the clock in the first half, and when Kerry Collins hit Amani Toomer from 25 yards out late in the second quarter, Giants had a 13-3 lead. Then following another impressive series by a defense that limited the Eagles to only 2 first-half first downs, Tiki Barber proved that last week was not a fluke but a preview, going in untouched to give the Giants a 20-3 halftime lead. Second half, more Collins, Ike Hilliard on the receiving end this time, and more defense. Giants roll to the surprisingly easy 33-18 win.
Offense did a great job, man. Our first 3 series, 3 and out, 9 plays. Offense controlled the clock, scored touchdowns, scored field goals, put us up big. You can't ask for anything more than that.
Kerry played well. I mean, he's continued to play well throughout the preseason and up until now. And, you know, it's great to have a quarterback like Kerry, you know, put the ball where he put it.
I thought it showed our character. I thought it showed our mental toughness, and I thought it showed what this team's all about right now. We can go on the road, tough environment, we can go on and play pretty well.
So the Giants come to Philadelphia, add an air attack to Thunder and Lightning, and manhandle the Eagles. And now for the first time in Jim Fossil's coaching career, he's got a team that's 2-0. With the Giants at Veterans Stadium, Dan Murphy, News 10 Sports.
The Buffalo Bills are out to their first 2-0 start since 1996. The Bills had little trouble with the Green Bay Packers, who are now 0-2 on the season. Check out the Bills' passing game. Rob Johnson airs it out for Eric Moulds, who makes the tremendous one-handed catch. Buffalo jumped out to a 17-0 lead in the third quarter when Rob Johnson hits Jay Reamersma off the play action. In the fourth quarter, Reamersma scores again. He will stick the ball over the end zone line for a touchdown. Buffalo gets it done 27-18. For the first time ever, the Baltimore Ravens have beaten the Jacksonville Jaguars. It wasn't easy, but the Ravens had enough firepower to win a shootout. Picking up fourth quarter, Mark Brunell looks downfield for his favorite target, Jimmy Smith. He's got it, and he goes in for one of his 3 touchdowns on the day. Jags up 4, but Tony Banks leads Baltimore to the winning score, hitting tight end Shannon Sharp for the game winner. The Ravens take it 39-36. The Dallas Cowboys and Arizona Cardinals both trying to avoid 0-2 starts. Troy Aikman out, Randall Cunningham in. Second quarter, Cunningham looks deep to James McKnight. A 48-yard touchdown, 14-10 boys. Fourth quarter, check this out. Simeon Rice Hits Randall, but Marcellus Wiley scoops it up and goes in for a touchdown. They're under 2 minutes to go right now. Arizona has just taken a 32-31 lead. Elsewhere, Tampa Bay shut out Chicago. Cleveland wins in Cincinnati. Kansas City loses in overtime to Tennessee. Minnesota, a defensive battle winner over Miami. Oakland rallies from 21-0 down. Denver bombed Atlanta. Carolina wins in San Francisco. St. Louis wins another shootout. Detroit beats Washington, and San Diego loses at home to New Orleans. Indiana University has fired head basketball coach Bobby Knight. IU President Miles Brand says Knight has engaged in a pattern of troubled behavior since May 15th when the school instituted a zero-tolerance policy. 19-year-old Kent Harvey, whose accusations ultimately led to Knight's dismissal, is receiving what he calls terrifying threats. The freshman says he's received threatening emails and telephone calls since his confrontation with Knight. Some students passed out flyers showing a picture of Harvey with a message, "Wanted dead."
Terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. Horrible. The worst mistake ever. Worst thing the school's ever done.
Too bad Knight didn't choke him. To baseball, the New York Yankees may be playing their best ball of the season right now. New York swept the Red Sox in Boston. These two teams will go at it again tomorrow in New York. Scott Brosius has got the Yanks started in the second inning. A two-run blast over the monster, 2-1 New York. Randy Kessler made his major league debut, and he was sharp. Kessler gave up just 1 run in 5 innings to pick up the victory. The Yankees take it 6-2. The final. Elsewhere, the White Sox and Indians rained out. Toronto beat Detroit. Seattle bombed Minnesota, and Oakland blanked Tampa Bay. An ugly win is just as good as a pretty one. Just ask the New York Mets. They snapped a 3-game losing slide with a win over Philly. Al Leiter struck out 9 in a complete game shutout. Bottom 4, Mike Bordick gets a run home with his high-bouncing ground out to third base. Later, Bordick gets another RBI when he gets hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. The Mets find a way to win it, though. 3-0 the final. Montreal shut out Atlanta, so the lead is now 2.5 games for the Mets. And Marat Safin beats Pete Sampras in straight sets at the U.S. Open. Ugly. We're not even going to show you the highlights.
That was surprising. All right. That'll do it for us, everybody. We hope you have a very good night. Actually, yeah, that'll do it for us. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you back here next week.